This is the face of the cloth, what we call the right side, the face of the cloth. This one has the designs, the motifs, and then this is the rear or the wrong side. This is the rear or the wrong side of the cloth.
Ghana, my wonderful Ghana. Ghana, our beautiful Ghana. We have a story to tell. We have the best in music. The people are so nice. Akwa Pa, welcome. We have the best in music. We have the best jollof. The people are so nice. Miawezolo, welcome. Ose, a piece of Ghana with Kwan Pa. Every year, Akwabo, a piece of Ghana with Kwan Pa.
Hi, Akwan Pa, and welcome to A Piece of Ghana with Kwan Pa. In this episode, we are looking at Akan cloth wrapping, wearing your cloth the right way, wearing it appropriately. And so, in this episode, we are going to look at least 5 guidelines that will help you wear your cloth appropriately. Before we delve into these guidelines, let us look at parts of a fabric, or let us look at the cloth, because I may mention a word or I may use a term in this presentation which may not be too familiar, which you may not be too familiar with. And so it's appropriate that I introduce you to some of those words before we delve into the actual guidelines. So here we go. Every fabric has 2 sides. We have the right side, which we also call the face of the fabric. And then we have the wrong side, which we also call the rear or the back of the fabric. So we have the right side, and right here does not refer to position, as in whether right or the left, but we are talking about appropriateness, whether it is correct or not correct. So we have the right side of the cloth, which is also the face of the cloth, and we have the wrong side of the cloth, which is the rear or the back of the cloth. Now, usually the difference is this. The face of the cloth or the right side of the cloth is where you find the design, the motifs of the cloth. And usually the colors are saturated. You see them clearly. When you look at the back of the cloth or the rear or the wrong side of the cloth, you realize that the colors are pale and the motifs do not even stand out. And you realize that sometimes you don't see the colors as bright or as saturated, as pure as the face or the front, the right side. Now, let me quickly add that for some fabrics, the face of the fabric or the right side, and then the back of the fabric, the rear or the wrong side, they have the same design, the same color saturation, the same purity of color, everything. And so let us know that for some cloths or for some fabrics, it will be very difficult to differentiate between the face and the rear, or the wrong side and the right side. But it is fine. Sometimes if there are inscriptions in the fabric, you realize that the rear or the wrong side of the fabric will have the inscriptions reversed, or will have the mirror images of those. So that is one way of differentiating between the face of the cloth or the right side and then the rear of the cloth or the wrong side, the back side. It is important to note this because when you are putting on your cloth, you must make sure that it is the face of the cloth that shows, that people see, the one that has the design and the motifs. It is that part that appears to people. So we have looked at the right side of the cloth, which is the face of the cloth, that part that has the designs, the motifs. And then we have looked at the wrong side of the cloth, or the back or the rear, which usually has a pale color. But in some cases, both front or the face and the back, they are the same. except for a few inscriptions that may give the difference. Now let's look at what we call selvage. Selvage. Every cloth has 4 edges, the horizontal and the vertical. Now, the self-edge, there are 2 of them, and usually these ones are self-made. These are the edges that have already been reinforced from factory. So these are the edges you usually will not cut. They come well treated, they come well seen, well treated, well reinforced, and so you don't touch them. Usually the other side, the other edge where you cut, that one will not be the self edge because it doesn't come reinforced. Let me explain this briefly. Every fabric, woven fabric, let me be specific, every woven fabric is made up of yarns or the strings or the thread that is used to weave the cloth. When it comes to weaving, cloth weaving, we have what we call the warp, and then we have the weft. The warp is usually the vertical strands, and then the weft is the horizontal strands that go in and out of the warp to create the design. When it comes to hand weaving on the loom, we have something we call the shuttle, and the shuttle will usually have the weft in there so that the shuttle will go in between the warp with the help of the reed and the heddles. Now, don't worry if it's a bit technical, but have it in mind that we have the warp, which are the vertical strands or the vertical yarns, and then we have the weft, which are the horizontal. Now, when it comes to the self edge, the ends, the edges, which form the self edge, they double or triple or even quadruple the yarns so that those self edges become reinforced. They do this so that the fabric will not fray from those edges. So those edges are well treated. That is what we call the self edge. Self edge. Let me show you how it is. So I have a piece of cloth here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me show you what we call the self edge. So this is the self edge. This is the self edge. This part is already reinforced, it's already treated, and so it is the self edge. We don't cut this part. They deliberately reinforce the self edge so that the fabric does not fray. So you don't cut the self edge, but you can cut the others. Or if you want to cut and join, that you can do. But the self edge is already reinforced. Usually after putting on the cloth, you get the self edge showing at the bottom. The self edge is what will show you the length of the cloth, how you have wrapped the cloth around you, the length of the cloth. The self edge will usually show on your legs, right there at the bottom. So this is the self edge. And then this is the face of the cloth. What we call the right side, the face of the cloth. This one has the designs, the motifs, and then this is the rear or the wrong side. This is the rear or the wrong side of the cloth. And so we have the right side of this cloth, and then we have the wrong side. Usually, like you have this one, the pieces have been joined. 2 pieces have been joined. And so the joining is always done at the wrong side. If you have to join the pieces, the joining will always have to be done at the wrong side or the back, so that when you put on the cloth, you will not see the sewing, the knots. You will not see them. Where the cloth joins, you will not see them. Very seamless. But the back, you realize that the pieces have been joined. So always make sure that If the pieces are going to be joined, they are joined at the back and not the face of the cloth. Having mentioned the face of the cloth, the back or the rear, and then the self edge, it is now time to delve into the 5 guidelines for appropriate Akan cloth wrapping from Ghana. First guideline. We have different types of cloth wrapping styles. There are at least 9 of them, but we also have more. We are going to look at a number of them. There are some of the styles that require that you conceal a shoulder and reveal another shoulder. When you are doing any of these styles, please make sure that you conceal the left shoulder and reveal the right shoulder. Whenever you are doing any of the Akan cloth wrapping styles, and the style requires that you reveal a shoulder and conceal a shoulder, no matter whether you are left-handed, you are right-handed, or you are ambidextrous, whatever it is, make sure that you conceal the left shoulder and you reveal the right shoulder. This means that for some of the cloth wrapping styles, you don't need to reveal a shoulder. For others, you must reveal both shoulders. But for some other styles, you must conceal one shoulder and reveal the other shoulder. Whenever you are doing any of those styles, make sure you conceal the left shoulder under the cloth and then you reveal the right shoulder. Now, there's a reason we do this. In Ghana and in the Akan setting, it is disrespectful to greet with your left hand. Whenever you have to greet, whether you are left-handed, you are right-handed, or you are ambidextrous, you have to greet with your right hand. Now, I have revealed a shoulder and I have concealed the left. If I am greeting with my right. The cloth does not get in my way. I am able to freely move my arms, and if I have to stretch out my arms and greet, I easily do that. If I have to receive or give something, I can easily do that without the cloth getting in my way. Now, assuming you turn the cloth so that instead of revealing the right shoulder, you rather reveal the left and you conceal the right, you are still required that you greet with your right hand. It means you are going to have this whole chunk of cloth being here. And then you have to greet. It will get in your way. And in no time, the cloth wrapping will be messy and you have to readjust. You keep on readjusting until you are tired. And so it is better you conceal the left and then you reveal the right for easy movement so that no cloth gets in your way. It becomes clearer, it becomes easier for you. And so please remember that whenever you have to conceal a shoulder and reveal the other, always conceal the left shoulder under the cloth and reveal the right shoulder. Guideline number 2. Whenever you put on your cloth, make sure that the front does not show the rear of the cloth. Whenever you put on the cloth, make sure that your front view, the front, it doesn't show the back of the cloth. Now, for this cloth that I'm wearing, unfortunately, the front and the back, they are the same. The face of the cloth and the rear, they are the same. So you may not know the difference. But whenever you put on your cloth, make sure that the front does not show the wrong side of the cloth. It is not appropriate to do that. Make sure for the front, you always have the face of the cloth or the right side of the cloth showing. And that is guideline number 2. Guideline number 3. Whenever you put on your cloth. We talked about the self edge. Let me show you something. When you wear your cloth, the self edge at the lowest part, that edge, this one that shows the length of the cloth, the self edge should be horizontal. It should be perpendicular to your shin. The self edge at the lowest part of the cloth, right there after putting it on, it should be horizontal across your legs. It should be perpendicular to your shin. And so make sure that after putting on your cloth, you realize that the edge, the self edge at the bottom down there, that shows the length, it is across both legs and it is horizontal. It is perpendicular to your shin. That is the right way. It can tilt slightly upwards or slightly downwards, slightly to the left or slightly to the right. But appropriately, we must have perpendicular positioning of the self edge at the bottom, and it must cross your shin. For the length, we will talk about that later, whether it should be close to the ankle or it should come up. And that is for the self edge, and that is guideline number 3.
Kwan Pa, yeah, wo me mo. Ose, ye gano. Mese ma wedding, sewu free Ghana. Ma wedding, sewu ye Ghana. Ma wedding, sewu free Ghana. Ma wedding, sewu ye Ghana. Ghana ya neshema ye. Ose, ye wo koko omeimo. Ose, ye wo tima omeimo. Ose, ye wo bauxite omeimo. Ose, afi ejako ni mo owo omeimo. Ose, palm wine music ewo omeimo. Ose, Kwan Pa yensu ye wo omeimo. Ose, every year, ose.